Dwelling values in Brisbane were 0.6% lower both over the month and over the past 3 months, but we've seen values rise by 14.6% over the past year. Brisbane's been one of the top performing housing markets over recent years, but it's pretty clear now that some of the heat is coming out of the market, highlighted by these falls we've seen over the past few months. The slowing in value growth is also being reflected in sales activity. The estimated number of sales over the past 3 months was 23.1% lower than at the same time last year. So it's clear that buyer sentiment has turned and we're seeing a lower number of transactions happening in the market. We've also seen a big increase in time on market, which has increased to the highest it's been since mid-2020, and vendor discounting's also jumped and is now the highest it's been since late 2022. According to SQM research, we're also starting to see a lot more properties come onto the market. New listings are up about 12% compared to the same time last year, and the total number of properties on the market is about 30% higher. Now, listing volumes are still relatively low on a historic basis, but they are climbing fairly quickly at the moment across Brisbane. Rental growth is still strong in Brisbane. Rents are up 6.6% over the past year, so this is well in excess of the rental growth we're seeing nationally. Rental yields, however, are falling. A year ago, the gross rental yield was 3.6%. It's now sitting at 3.4%. And these are pretty much historic low gross rental yields that we're seeing in Brisbane's housing market at the moment. The slowdown in the Brisbane housing market has happened quite rapidly. That's highlighted by the fact that values are up more than 14% over the past year, but they've also declined over both the month and the last 3 months. Sentiment has clearly turned quite quickly. Stock levels are still relatively low in Brisbane, but they are climbing at a fairly rapid pace. And as I highlighted, we're seeing an increase in time on market and discounting levels. So if you're bringing a property to the market, setting an appropriate price and being willing to meet the market's expectations on price is really important. If you're someone out there looking to buy, conditions are certainly swinging more in your favour at the moment as more stock comes to the market and the number of people actively looking to buy reduces. In regional Queensland, dwelling values fell by 0.3% over the last month. They were unchanged over the past 3 months, and they were 11.7% higher over the past year. So we're seeing that the rate of growth is slowing quite a lot, and conditions have turned probably over the last 3 to 4 months. According to Cotality, the number of dwellings that sold in regional Queensland was estimated to be 14.5% lower over the last 3 months than it was over the same 3-month period last year. The median number of days on market has more than doubled compared to where it was 12 months ago, and we've also seen a big increase in the level of vendor discounting, which again highlights that housing market conditions have turned. Much of this change has happened only in the last 4 to 5 months. We've seen rents still rise quite rapidly over the past year. They're up 6.4%. At the same time, gross rental yields are at historic low levels and have been unchanged compared to where they were 12 months ago. The slowdown in the regional Queensland market has actually happened quite rapidly, only really over the last 3 to 4 months, a lot of it really hinging on the changes that we saw in the federal budget. What that means for buyers though is that there's less competition because fewer people are looking to buy, and we're seeing more stock on the market, so more to choose from. If you're looking to sell at the moment, conditions have certainly got tougher. You're probably not going to get in most parts of regional Queensland a price as good as you would have got earlier this year if you'd chosen to sell. So you need to adjust your market expectations and realise that you're probably going to get fewer offers than you would have if you were looking to sell 6 months ago. That's fine, but you just need to adjust your expectations in this market.